I'll have to talk to Ita.
Paul Hogan's journey from a working-class boy in Sydney to becoming one of Australia's most beloved stars is the foundation of his story. Born in 1939, Hogan's early life was far from glamorous, shaped by modest circumstances and the challenges of a large family. He found work on the Sydney Harbour Bridge before discovering his natural talent for comedy and performance. His breakthrough came with The Paul Hogan Show, where his sharp wit, humor, and relatable personality captivated audiences across Australia. By the mid-1980s, Hogan had become a household name nationally, but his ambitions stretched beyond the continent. Hollywood beckoned, and he was determined to bring the rugged, charismatic Australian outback persona to the international stage. This ambition gave rise to Crocodile Dundee, a project he co-wrote and starred in, a gamble that would ultimately change his life. Hogan's story at this stage is one of perseverance, talent, and a willingness to take risks, setting the stage for the professional triumphs and personal entanglements that would define his life in the decades to come. Linda Kozlowski, a star in the making. Linda Kozlowski, born in 1958 in Fairfield, Connecticut, had her own journey defined by ambition and talent. A graduate of Juilliard's prestigious drama program, she honed her craft on Broadway and in film, appearing in productions like Death of a Salesman. Kozlowski's path reflected dedication to serious acting, yet the breakthrough she longed for had remained elusive. Her casting as Sue Charlton in Crocodile Dundee offered that chance, sending her across the world to the Australian outback to act opposite Hogan. For Linda, this role wasn't just a stepping stone. It was a life-altering opportunity that blended professional success with personal transformation. She found herself in a world of international acclaim almost overnight, stepping into the limelight alongside Hogan. Their chemistry on set was undeniable, a blend of professional respect and personal attraction that quickly caught the attention of cast and crew. Kozlowski's trajectory highlights the collision of talent and circumstance, setting the stage for a romance intertwined with career and fame. A spark behind the camera. As filming of Crocodile Dundee progressed, the connection between Hogan and Kozlowski deepened. While Hogan was still married to his first wife, Noeline Edwards, the energy between him and Linda could not be ignored. Observers noted the natural rhythm of their banter, the lingering glances, and a sense that their characters had spilled into real life. This chemistry was both exhilarating and complicated, occurring against the backdrop of Hogan's existing marriage and decades-long family life. For both actors, the film set became a crucible where professional collaboration blurred into personal intimacy. Hogan's eventual divorce and subsequent marriage to Linda would cement their connection publicly, but these early moments were the seed of both joy and tension. The spark that ignited on set illustrates the unpredictability of relationships in high-pressure environments, where passion and ambition often collide, setting a precedent for the complexities that would shape their personal lives in the years to come. Crocodile Dundee, worldwide phenomenon. The release of Crocodile Dundee in 1986 transformed both Hogan and Kozlowski into international stars. The film became a cultural phenomenon, grossing over $300 million worldwide, and defined Hogan as a rugged, charismatic figure while introducing Kozlowski to global audiences. This success amplified the public fascination with their off-screen relationship, making their romance a topic of media interest. Behind the scenes, however, the success brought pressures that few could foresee. Hogan's divorce from Noeline and subsequent relationship with Linda unfolded under the scrutiny of fans and industry insiders. The cultural impact of the film elevated their lives simultaneously, creating opportunities while also introducing strains on personal and professional fronts. It was a time of immense achievement and shifting dynamics, where fame intensified both the thrill of partnership and the inevitable challenges of navigating a relationship under the constant gaze of the world. Marriage and early happiness. In 1990, Paul Hogan and Linda Kozlowski married, presenting a picture of the ideal Hollywood romance. Hogan, at 51, brought experience, stability, and wealth, while Linda, 32, radiated youth and promise. early years were marked by generosity and shared professional ventures. Hogan gifted a custom-built mansion to Linda, a symbol of both his love and his success. The couple collaborated on films, further cementing their public image as a glamorous pair. Their son, Chance, born in 1998, added another dimension to their lives, bringing joy and responsibility. Yet, beneath the surface, subtle tensions began to emerge. Hogan's traditional values contrasted with Linda's desire for autonomy and personal growth. While Hogan prioritized family and stability, Linda sought a sense of identity beyond marriage and motherhood. The early happiness was genuine but complex, colored by differing aspirations and expectations, hinting at the strains that would later define their union. Growing tensions and diverging paths. As the 2000s approached, differences in ambition and lifestyle began to surface. Linda had largely abandoned her acting career after Crocodile Dundee in Los Angeles, feeling typecast and creatively stifled. She expressed frustration with Hollywood's superficial scripts and the constraints of her domestic life. Hogan, committed to providing stability, believed his approach was sufficient to sustain the marriage. This divergence in expectations created emotional distance, as Linda struggled with feelings of lost identity, while Hogan focused on family and career priorities. Their relationship, once vibrant with shared purpose, began to feel suffocating for Linda, while Hogan remained unaware of the depth of her dissatisfaction. The cracks widened gradually, reflecting the challenge of balancing personal growth with familial obligations, fame, and entrenched habits, signaling a turning point that would eventually culminate in separation. The breaking point. By the early 2000s, the accumulated tensions reached a point that could no longer be ignored. After more than 2 decades together, Linda filed for divorce in October 2013, citing irreconcilable differences. The decision shocked fans, but seemed inevitable to those close to the couple. Linda had sacrificed her career and personal ambitions for the family, and over time, the compromise became unsustainable. Hogan, though devastated, maintained that the split was amicable, acknowledging that their marriage had become lifeless compared to its vibrant beginning. The divorce highlighted fundamental differences. Hogan's definition of stability versus Linda's need for independence. Their son, Chance, was 15 at the time, caught between parents but shielded from the full impact of their private struggles. The breaking point was less about conflict than the slow erosion of connection, a reflection of how long-term relationships can falter when emotional needs are unmet. Divorce and settlements. The divorce was finalized in 2014, with Hogan retaining rights to the Crocodile Dundee franchise and Linda receiving a one-time settlement of $6.25 million. They agreed to joint custody of Chance, with Linda allowed to remain in their Los Angeles home for 4 years or until remarriage. The settlement underscored the divergent paths each would follow. Hogan retained his iconic career legacy, while Linda embraced financial independence and freedom. For Linda, the divorce marked a reclamation of self, a chance to step out of Hogan's shadow and forge her own identity. For Hogan, it was a period of introspection as he confronted the emotional void left by the end of their partnership. The formal end of the marriage provided clarity, but also the reminder of what had been sacrificed, emphasizing the complexities inherent in balancing fame, family, and personal fulfillment. Linda's life after divorce. Linda's post-divorce years were defined by reinvention and independence. She divided her time between Los Angeles and Morocco, where she pursued new ventures with partner Mule Hafi Baba, including the luxury tourism company Dream My Destiny. She also invested in Venice Beach real estate, transforming her settlement into a substantial personal fortune. Freed from Hollywood and Hogan's shadow, Linda embraced a life where her choices shaped her identity and legacy. Her focus shifted from acting to business, travel, and personal fulfillment, creating a new kind of success that prioritized autonomy and creativity. The transformation illustrated how leaving a high-profile marriage can lead to personal empowerment, showcasing Linda's intelligence, resilience, and ability to craft a life aligned with her aspirations while balancing family and new professional ventures. Hogan's later years, Paul Hogan's trajectory after the divorce contrasted sharply with Linda's flourishing independence. Remaining in Los Angeles, he continued to live in Venice Beach with his son Chance, increasingly isolated and dealing with health challenges in his later years. Muscle atrophy and chronic pain replaced the rugged vitality that had once defined him, and interviews revealed a man grappling with loneliness and regret. Despite continued reverence as an Australian icon, Hogan's personal life was quieter and more introspective. He acknowledged that material success and fame could not replace emotional connection, admitting to the emptiness left by the end of his marriage. Hogan's later years reflected the costs of compromise and the limitations of relying solely on wealth and stability to sustain happiness, highlighting the fragility of life behind the celebrity facade. Public controversies and legal battles. Compounding Hogan's personal challenges were public controversies, most notably the Australian Taxation Office's investigation from 2003 to 2010. Hogan faced accusations of funneling millions into offshore accounts, leading to years of legal scrutiny and travel restrictions. Though ultimately resolved through a confidential settlement, the ordeal tarnished his reputation and added stress to his already complicated life. The legal battles, combined with the end of his marriage, created a narrative of a man once celebrated for charm and humor, now grappling with public scrutiny and private disappointment. These experiences underscore the complex intersection of celebrity, responsibility, and personal resilience, revealing the pressures of maintaining a public image while navigating deeply personal struggles. Reflection and regret. In interviews, Hogan has been candid about his regrets and the emotional lessons learned from his marriage. He reflected on the inadequacy of providing materially without fostering emotional intimacy, acknowledging that love alone was insufficient to sustain a long-term relationship. He spoke of longing for the connection lost with Linda and the impact of those years on his sense of self. Even in moments of vulnerability, he retained a sense of humility, recognizing that wealth and fame could not compensate for emotional absence. Hogan's reflections humanize him, revealing a side rarely visible in media portrayals, a man confronting the consequences of decisions and circumstances that fame had amplified, grappling with the complexities of love, loss, and personal growth. Reunion and legacy. In 2025, Hogan and Kozlowski reunited on screen for Crocodile Dundee, the encore cut, revisiting the film that had defined their careers. The project, including a remastered film and behind-the-scenes documentary, provided a nostalgic reflection for audiences and a symbolic closure for the actors themselves. Though Linda continued her independent life in Morocco, the collaboration offered Hogan a chance to reconnect professionally and reflect on a shared past. Reports suggest the experience was emotionally significant for Hogan, providing a sense of closure while underscoring the bittersweet nature of their enduring bond. The reunion highlighted the complexity of relationships shaped by fame. Enduring respect and shared history can coexist with separation and personal reinvention, offering lessons in reconciliation, reflection, and acceptance. Conclusion: love, loss, and transformation. Paul Hogan and Linda Kozlowski's story is one of love intertwined with ambition, sacrifice, and the consequences of differing personal aspirations. Their romance captivated the world, but behind the glamour were tensions rooted in unmet emotional needs and evolving identities. The trajectory of their lives post-divorce illustrates contrasting paths. Linda's journey of independence and personal fulfillment versus Hogan's introspective reckoning with regret and loss. Their narrative demonstrates that even the most celebrated partnerships can falter under the weight of compromise, and that resilience and reinvention can emerge from endings. It is a human story of connection, heartache, and the enduring search for meaning and happiness, reminding us that fame amplifies both the joy and the pain inherent in life's most intimate relationships.